The Unwalled Cell. The world outside his cabin at Walden Pond was a symphony of his own making. Henry David Thoreau, a man who believed in living deliberately, found purpose in the rustle of leaves and the quiet patience of the seasons. But the world beyond his woods was a cacophony of a different kind, a war with Mexico, a conflict he saw as a moral stain on his nation, a war fought to expand the reach of slavery. The tax collector, a man of simple duty, arrived at his door. "Mr. Thoreau," he said, holding out a paper. "Your poll tax is due." Henry looked at the paper, then at the man. "I cannot, in good conscience, pay a tax that funds a war. One find unjust," he said calmly. The collector, perplexed, shrugged. "It's the law, sir." That evening, a constable came. Henry was arrested and led away from the woods he so cherished. He walked the path to the Concord jail, the familiar scent of pine and damp earth giving way to the cold, hard smell of brick and iron. The cell door clanged shut behind him, a sound that felt like the final period at the end of a long, unwritten sentence. The cell was a small, grimy box. A single, small window offered a sliver of the moon. He shared the space with a man accused of burning a barn. The man was a good-natured fellow, and they spoke of simple things. Henry lay on the cot, the coarse blanket a stark contrast to his own soft bed at home. Yet a strange sense of peace settled over him. He was a free man, even in this cage. The next morning, a familiar face appeared at the bars. It was his dear friend, Ralph Waldo Emerson, the great philosopher and poet. Waldo's face was a mix of concern and bewilderment. He looked at Henry, then at the bars, then back at his friend, as if trying to solve a riddle. "Henry," Waldo said, his voice a low, pained whisper, "what are you doing in there?" The question hung in the air, heavy with unspoken judgment and a genuine desire to understand. It was a question that saw only the iron bars, the confinement, the failure of a man to conform. Henry looked at his friend, his gaze steady and clear. He saw not just the man, but the world he represented. The world that paid taxes for war, that valued comfort over conscience, that lived in quiet desperation. He saw the invisible bars that held his friend captive. "Waldo," he replied, his voice soft but firm, "what are you doing out there?" The question was not a clever retort.